They wanted us to forget about our daughter, their sister, our loved one. They thought they was gonna just throw her away like she was
garbage.
Amid this family's anguish are emotions of outrage and disgust at how the Bridgeport Police Department has investigated the mysterious death of 23-year-old Lauren Smith Fields.
It was careless. It was no concern. There was no care for the family about how we felt, our grief, our pain, none of that.
The I-Team obtained this police report of the response to a 911 call from Lauren's apartment on the morning of December 12th from a white male identified as Matthew LaFountain. The investigator notes he was trembling and visibly shaken. LaFountain said they met on the dating site Bumble, began drinking shots of tequila, and Lauren became ill. That later they played some games, ate some food, and started to watch a movie. He says he carried her to her bedroom and laid her in her bed. He then laid down next to her and fell asleep. He woke up again at approximately 0630 hours, and she was laying on her right side. Blood was coming out of her right nostril onto the bed, and she was not breathing.
The whole day goes by. No police reach out to the family at all.
Her close-knit family says they went to the apartment the next day after frantically calling and texting Lauren and were referred to a Detective Cronin.
They didn't even contact us. They didn't let us know anything. It's crazy. And I'm asking him what's going on. He said she met some guy on Bumble. And I'm asking him about the guy. He was like, oh, he sounds like a really nice guy. He sounds like a really good guy. And he was like, I'll call you back, and just hung up in my face.
They say the detective promised to come by the apartment.
never showed up.
The family says the relationship with police devolved from there. No contact from December 13th until December 29th. They returned to the apartment to clear out Lauren's belongings and claim a new detective came by to say he'd taken over the case from Detective Cronin.
The detective said he effed up, he messed up. He effed Cronin, he messed up. He didn't know what he was doing. He messed up the case.
The family says they provided evidence they'd collected to crime scene investigators who arrived for the first time that day. Included a bloody sheet and a pill.
And 2 cups of drinks or whatever next to a bottle. They didn't take none of that. We seen a condom, we seen lube, other stuff in there, and they didn't take none of this.
Sources close to the investigation tell the I-Team the Matthew LaFountain pictured in this social media photo, now removed, was the man at Lauren's apartment. A neighbor at his listed address in Milford confirmed LaFountain's identity, but we were unable to reach the 37-year-old who has not been accused of any wrongdoing. LaFountain's same image appeared under the name Matthew Thomas, now also taken down.
Anyone that genuinely cared and they were there, the last person there, and they know that nothing bad happened, you would at least even reach out to the family yourself. Listen, I know I'm sorry for your loss of your daughter or your sister.
The family's last contact with police was on January 4th at headquarters with their attorney.
What I believe is that the police failed to collect and preserve that environment from the first day.
The attorney has now filed a notice of claim to sue Bridgeport for negligence, claiming key evidence was not initially submitted to the state lab.
I feel like because he's a white guy and she's a black girl, it's just almost like they just thrown it under the rug.
That night she was silenced, so now we are her voice. Right. But we're here and we're fighting for her.
The Bridgeport Police Department did not respond to repeated messages we left about the case, but in previous statements, they've said the investigation is open and active and that detectives are waiting for a final report from the medical examiner on the cause and manner of death. Sarah Wallace, News 4 New York.
Also, we just received a statement from the dating site Bumble that Sarah mentioned. A spokesperson says, we are deeply saddened by news of Lauren Smith Fields' death and have reached out directly to the family to offer support. We have been in contact with law enforcement, but they have not yet requested any information.
Hi, you guys. So I just wanted to come and touch on the Lauren Fields Smith case. And so now the medical examiner finally comes back, over a month later? This is well over a month later, saying that her death is ruled as an accident by way of overdose. So I'm wondering, and I agree with the family, if I feel like this wasn't handled well. I'll just say that, because the guy still should have been viewed as a suspect. I'm sure the police and the EMT in the hospital, they already recognize what a drug overdose look like. These are things that these people in their profession see all the time. And so even though they couldn't issue that as an official statement, I got that. But they already knew what the situation was. Was he drug tested? Do they know if he had drugs in his system as well? Who gave her the drugs? Are they looking into seeing if she was a regular drug user before, right? Because the family is saying that they didn't know anything about any of that. So that's just my whole thing. Like, I do agree with the family. It's like it was just so many things unanswered that they should have been able to at least say that they're looking into from the very beginning. You can't say that there's nothing to look into simply because she OD'd, right? Because she was there, she wasn't there alone, and she was there with a complete stranger, right? So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I hope this police department is investigated for handling that the way they handled it. Let me know what you guys think about this case. Well, this situation. And I think that they're reporting that he has 2 aliases. His name is Matthew LaFontaine, and then he goes by Matthew Thomas as well. So I don't know. I just feel like, and I do agree with the brother, if the man feels like he's not guilty of anything, why hasn't he reached out to her family, right? And I understand he did not know her personally, and he was only there for whatever it was there for, and we really don't know what his purpose of being there. You would think that he would reach out to her family and offer condolences, and say, or at least say, I didn't know she was on whatever, or whatever it was, right? Like, I feel like the fact that he wants to walk away from this situation unknown is kind of telling within itself. Sorry about the sound outside. So that's just my opinion about this situation. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. And do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm wondering, like, did they drug test him that night? Because they should have, right? Because how do we know he didn't give her those drugs? They didn't even look into it to see if he was on anything, right? They just took his word for everything. And who does that? Why would a police department do that? Because they would not have done that for any of us, right? And let's just be honest about that, right? Anytime anything happens where any minority is concerned, our pictures are plastered everywhere. So why was his picture not up, like, within days of this story hitting? It just don't make sense. And I do agree with the family on that. They were really hoping that they can kind of push back on this family and make them go away, is what I think. But let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.